Thank you for helping me heal myself.
Good morning, Creative Companions. A video source is required. What does that mean? Oh, there it goes. Good morning, Creative Companions. Just waking up here now. Got all my things ready for today. It's really sunny, and I'm trying to figure out how to place this umbrella in a way that I can see my screen. It works good if I have it like that, then that's that. How you doing this morning? It's good to be here now, every Sunday, in the mornings, not every Sunday, but most Sundays. Boy, I gotta do some coaxing to get myself here. So here I am, and doing the thing. We're gonna be talking about Louise Hay's book today. That's a new book we're starting, You Can Heal Your Life. So we're on part 1 we read this week. And we're going to be doing a guided acrylic painting today. So bring your acrylic paint supplies. I grabbed a cardboard to paint on. It's kind of big, but it was the only one I could find this morning, so I'm going with it. So just take your time and get your things together. Take some deep breaths. It's good to be here now. It all starts with the breath. We always start there. So breathing in and out. Let's see here. I can make some changes to this while we all take our time, gather our things, get yourself something to drink. Get your water. That's not working. Interactivity. Technical difficulties. Give me a second. So, hope everybody had a great week, doing a lot of self-care and breathing in and out, writing in your journals. We're doing morning pages, and I've added a new thing to my morning pages and been daily posting that, which is the, having a hard time. Hey, there we go. Find the comments. There they are. Good morning, April. So I started doing a sketch a day too. Added that to my journaling. Maybe I set it here. I could see the screen better. That's not bad. I think that'll work. Anyway, yeah, so I got this new journal before last week's live, and I just did a marker thing during the live last week, and that turned into a daily meditation. I call it my marker meditations now, and I've been posting these daily. Haven't done one today yet. I did write in my journal, but there's where I left off. And I've been just like going with however it bled through, which, as you see, this next one barely bled through at all. So I kind of have a blank page to start on, but I'm going to keep that for my private time. With you today, we're going to do a guided acrylic painting. So get yourself a cardboard, like I said. For me, part of the process is getting everything ready and getting a palette, and I'm going to use this one, and I already started picking the paint off of it and making my paintball. If you know me well, you know that's part of it. That's part of my process, part of the ritual, if you will, of creating. So I'm going to continue to do that. And let's do like we did last week, and be just so mindful. We've been practicing meditating to be in the here and now, to be in the present moment, to be part of this moment with ourselves and with each other, and especially with the creative process, and just like giving ourselves over to the creative process, and whatever happens, happens. So just breathing in and out. Getting comfortable in your space where you're going to sit for this hour. Remember, our meditations are fluid. We can wiggle around and move. Don't allow your body to become uncomfortable. Often we get locked in when in creative flow, and we forget to move. We forget to move our bodies, and the older I get, the more I find that sitting still too long, locking the neck, locking the shoulders. We need to wiggle it all around. And so make movement part of your meditation, like at the moment. Even if, like I'm doing, you can just rock in your seat. I always said to my kids, let your lizard out. Let your chickens out. Oh, it's a good morning. It's a good day. The sun's shining where I'm at. Love is in the air. Oh, there's Moon Marie. Hi, Moon. Hi, Mary. Love y'all so much. I really appreciate you showing up with me. Healing in front of people is interesting. Get to... Yeah, grief's like a weird thing, huh? Like processing that and keeps coming at you. And that brings gratitude to me. I'm so grateful to still be here. Like to be here now with y'all. Simply breathing, picking paint, being grateful and thankful for my friends, for the love and support that I get, for the creative process and the healing that brings. Yeah. Challenging. It's a stimulating challenge. We're learning to change our language. So taking the word, boy, it's hard to show up at 11 o'clock every Sunday. I take that word hard completely out of our vocabulary, okay? I'm going to banish that word and replace it with a stimulating challenge. It's a stimulating challenge to do the things I want to do. It's a stimulating challenge to get me to take good, loving care of myself on the regular. It's not hard. I'm capable of it. Whatever it is, like your dream thing. It's not hard to get there. You just got to get past yourself for real. Oh, man. Like, yeah, buddy, I'm feeling that. So I made some big paintballs here today. So I've been doing this for a long time. Acrylic paint will like roll up nice for you and stick together when you peel it off your palette in some climates. Now, if it's really humid, like in Florida, it didn't make such good paintballs for me sometimes. But and then someday I found all my cups of these, by the way, yesterday. I'm gonna, who knows what with those. So yeah, so my palette's ready for paint now. My canvas is ready for paint now. It's a blank canvas. It's a new beginning. I have water here. I have all my brushes. I have all my colors. I'm gonna pause now a moment. Just landing in my spot. Remembering that as we meditate, all the sounds around us don't irritate. They just bring us to a further, deeper sense of relaxation, of oneness, of being inside usness, being here now with our selfness. Breathing in and out. I am a living presence. Breathing in and out. I am loving awareness. Yes, I read some good sentences this week and wrote them down in my journal. I choose today to see life through rose-colored glasses. I choose to see love everywhere I look. Retraining our brains. That's what we're doing. Okay then. So I wonder, did you write in Morning Pages this week? So Morning Pages is one of our basic self-care tools that we use in Creative Companions. And it's just journaling, and like we call it 3 pages of brain drain in the morning. Just getting it out on the page. So I just wanted to share some of those sentences that I collected this week. The first thing I see is cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, I wrote that down. Yes, I did. That's what I was feeling right then. I'm going to wait for that plane to pass. It came to pass. Someone said that to me this week. That's a good one. It didn't come to stay. It came to pass. You see? This too shall pass. Sometimes it goes the other way too. Loving awareness I am. Space-time prison. That's a phrase I read. We live in a space-time prison here on Earth, or in our minds. Yeah, think about that. I don't know. It hit me. Then I read this from the book Living Presence. Being in relationship to the creative power cannot be compared to any other freedom. Being in relationship to the creative power cannot be compared to any other freedom. My quote, Kim Keffer says, being immersed in the creative process heals. It brings peace of mind. It frees the spirit. Being immersed in the creative process heals. That's what we're doing here. It brings peace of mind. It frees the spirit. Freeing our creative spirits. That's what Creative Companions is about, right? So let's, right away I look and I see white. So I'm going to add some white to my palette. And if you want to follow me and do this as a guided painting today for this hour, I'm sure we will create something quite similar to one another. I'm also grabbing some blue. So I'm going to put white and blue on my palette, whatever blue you have. Now also, please just do you. You may be feeling totally other colors this morning. Let Spirit guide your process, your day, your life. That's what we're learning to do. So this brush is broken. So we will choose a different one. I'm going to get something really big so I can just do some really free flow. And you know, this cardboard I chose to paint on is bent and has some creases in it, but I don't care. We're just here to play. Nothing is perfect. We're not created that way. Nothing's created that way from perfection, right? So I'm even going to try to like paint it this way so y'all can see what I'm doing. And it's fun to give yourself a different challenge, you know, and do it in a different way than you knew or than you did before. So let me put this umbrella over my head for a minute. Make sure y'all, 11:11, all is well. All is well, all is well. I might leave that there for a minute just because I can then see my screen better. Oh, there. How about that? That works. Okay, so I'm going to add some water to my brush. Oh, I have my paint smock on, you know, so we want to allow our inner child to just play here and be as messy as we are today, or not, whatever. Our first goal is to just paint a nice, beautiful background here for ourselves. So I'm just grabbing paint and like globbing it and flowing this direction. You flow whatever direction you want. It may be experimenting with different amounts of water to add to your paint. Maybe you want it darker up at the top, whatever. Don't think about it. You know, we're just playing, we're just painting. Covering the board with color and listening to the planes go by. I wonder what sounds you hear in your space. Is it quiet where you are? We have moments of quiet here. Where I'm hanging out today. This is the yard I hung out in for years. Right now it's where, yeah, look at that. I kind of like what cardboard does, you know, and just let it do what it does. Kind of don't want to worry about getting paint on yourself or on the tapestry or anything. Just be able to flow. Add some more water, whatever you do. Drink your water. Drink your water, folks. Water is life. Be aware of that. Be aware of how you're using and not using, wasting the water. Thank you for the water. I'm grateful. I'm going to just finish covering this. I'm going to also now let some of it not be covered and let that be it, because I ran out of paint I put down. So I'm just going to let that dry a minute and put my brush in the water and set that aside to dry there. And I'm going to pick up the Louise Hay You Can Heal Your Life book that we are practicing with this week. So we consistently use The Artist Way by Julian Cameron as our main guide and rule of thumb, but we explore new works together, new written works that are new maybe to you, new maybe to me. This one I've read many times, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. So we're going to be looking at part 1, which is What I Believe, the gateway to wisdom and knowledge are always open. The gateways to wisdom and knowledge are always open. Life is really very simple. What we give out, we get back. What we think about ourselves becomes the truth for us. So if you're walking around saying, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, you're going to get more tired. Take a nap. Do something about the thing that that voice is saying. What we think about ourselves becomes the truth for us. The thoughts we think and the words we speak create our experiences. No person, no place, and no thing has any power over us, for we're the only thinkers in our mind. When we create peace and harmony and balance in our mind, we will find it in our lives. I'm here to tell you that's for true. That's for real, for real. What we believe about ourselves and about life becomes true for us, and we can change our beliefs at any moment. We can. We have unlimited choices about what we can think. And so we work with affirmations to like put those new thinks into our consciousness and make it true for us. You know, fake it till you make it. Yeah. Our higher self never judges us. It only accepts us at our own value. So if the universal power is a cosmic mirror that reflects what we think, what if we thought love is everywhere and I am loving and lovable? What if we repeated that affirmation often and then let it become true for us? Now loving people would come into our lives if we are mirrors and reflections. Love is everywhere and I am loving and lovable. Love is everywhere. I like it. And I am loving and lovable. I'm going to go with some more white on my palette again. So that's dried long enough. Acrylic paint dries really fast. You might add some... I'm going to go with a different blue than on my background. I just got self-conscious because someone came out of their house and can see me. Deep breaths. Breathing in and out. I am here now. And I am safe. Love is everywhere. And I am loving and lovable. Yes, that's better. Let's see here. So, I added some white and blue. I'm going to get a dry brush, not the one that's in the water. Look at this brush. So this is a messed up brush. It has dry paint on it. The bristles are all hard. I'm purposely choosing that brush because the bristles are all spread out. What I'm going to make now is some clouds. I'm going to let those be vertical lines there at the bottom, and I'm going to put the paint in the white and the blue. Only a little of the blue, more of the white. There's my paintbrush loaded. And then I'm going to come over here and go, where's my cloud? Let's put a cloud here. So to make a cloud, I'm going to do a circular motion. You see? Look at that. And leave it alone. Okay, don't look at it too much. Just do another one. Remember, we're just indicating that shape. And like this brush is looking pretty scratchy, which is not really what I want for a cloud. So I'm going to grab a softer brush now with soft bristles. And while that's I just flung paint on my computer. While that's still wet, I'm just going to smooth that out and circle it around with this brush. See? And clouds, you can like do some wavy stuff. Come back over here to this one. This one, the paint's heavier. Yes, you can see. Just kind of do something like that. We might whisk it out at the bottom. Just easy peasy. And remember, we talked about, you know, we often rush through everything. As children, we were rushed. Hurry up, don't be late. And that causes so much anxiety. When we're sitting down to write in our journals or to do our art or to play our instrument, The last thing we need to do is rush our little creative selves. You know, time isn't real. It's a time, space, prison. We have all the time in the world, right? So we're just making clouds. You could try different size brushes. You know, clouds, like, you can have all different kinds of clouds in the sky at the same time. You know, if you discover a new fun way to make clouds, let me know. Right now I'm just making them kind of heavy. So these are the heavy, heavy clouds. And in a minute we'll make some more different wispy ones. I'm going to make another big, poofy, heavy one over here on this side. Let you watch me do that. Hope you can see. There we go. Again, neighbors outside. Boo. Weird woman sitting in her grass. It's okay. Be okay being the weird one. Maybe they'll get curious. Wonder what you're up to. Come play with you. So yeah, just smearing some clouds on there, giving them some movement in that direction. Look at that. That was with the quickness. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna always hold your work back and look at it, you know? Put it away from you a little bit. Don't look at it so close. We'll be scrutinizing. Remember, judging our early works is artist abuse, and we're learning not to do that either. Be nice, be nice. The universal power, our higher self, never judges us or criticizes us. What if we could learn to do that too? Try that for a day. No judging, criticizing thoughts about the self. Don't put yourself down. Don't kick your ass. Isn't it weird? Like how, oh, that's nice. Take a deep breath. In my world, that humming stopped. It was the air conditioning in someone's house. Some of the things that we read about in the You Can Heal Your Life in this chapter, I'm just going to skim over. Your point of power is in this present moment and is forming the experiences of tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Your point of power is in the present moment, is right now. What are you doing different in this moment that's going to program a different future? You know, the best is yet to come. You might notice the thought you're thinking right now. Is that thought negative or positive? Just don't judge, just be aware. Just notice. Just begin to notice your thoughts. The only thing we're ever dealing with is a thought, and a thought can be changed. Right? Change the thought, and the feelings must go, because the feelings are created by the thoughts, right? So we may habitually think the same thought over and over, so that it doesn't seem like we're choosing that thought. But then look at it. Did you make the original thought? Did you make the choice to think that thought? You can refuse to think that thought anymore about yourself. I'm not enough. I don't even like to say that out loud. Banish that. I am all that I need to be. I'm reading from the book right now. The more self-hatred and guilt we have, the less our life works. The less self-hatred and guilt we have, the better our lives work. That's true. Alright, I'm going to grab yet another brush. A smaller one this time. And we are going to make some dry brush clouds. So dry brush is taking a brush, here I got a small fuzzy one, that has not been in water yet. And I'm going to put the tips of it in the paint. Let me grab my palette and actually show you this. So we're just going to touch the top in the paint, and then we're going to touch it on the palette and take most of it back off. You could also take your paper towel or your smock if you do that and wipe most of it off on there. You want a very dry brush. We're just going to make some little wispy clouds. So again, you want as if the air is going in the same motion kind of a circular, just playing here, seeing what the brush will do. And I like to just keep using this same brush until it runs out of paint and isn't making a mark at all. So this is real subtle. It just makes some subtle little, and I'm not worrying about what shapes I'm making right now. I'm just moving the brush around on the cardboard. Today's gonna be a most spectacular day. And then I'm really digging those lines down there, so I'm going to take that same dry brush technique, get most of that paint off the brush. The mistake that is easy to make with dry brush is too much paint on the brush. Little as you can. So I'm just going to accentuate these lines down here. Now, of course, you hold your canvas however you want. It's probably good if you do it facing you. But you're not thinking about anything you're doing, what this is going to become. You have no expectations of it. No expectations of where we're going with this particular piece of cardboard right now. We're just letting it become what it becomes. So I just put some white lines there. Now, you might want to hold it back a minute and look at those clouds and see is there anything you want to do different there. And I'm not, this cloud here, I want to give a little more accentuation at the top. So I'm going to go back with both the colors of blue and white again. And just kind of, again, that circular motion. Should make a cloud over here now. There. Hold it back and look at it. Yes. Next, I'm feeling like we need some green and yellow. Let's put those brushes in the water so that the paint comes off of them. Grab yourself some green and yellow now. So, I'm going to read you some more from the book. She's saying that the innermost belief for everyone that she has worked with in her counseling, Louise Hay, is I am not good enough. And she says what I say. Good enough for who? Good enough for what? You know? You are good enough. So it's about, recognizing your fear and things that are holding you back. Criticism, guilt, and fear cause more problems than anything else, she says. Criticism, guilt, and fear. This is your pattern. I highlighted fear can even cause sore feet. I've had some sore feet lately, so I'm thinking about that. We can change our attitude towards the past. The past is over and done. We cannot change what happened. We can change our thoughts about it. Just bringing up our thoughts that when we feel victimized from the past is bringing that to life in the present and kind of torturing ourselves. And why would we do that? We're learning to love ourselves and treat ourselves with loving kindness. So we stay in the present moment with the creative process. I really like that. So I'm just making some green and yellow lines here at the bottom now. Just following these lines that naturally occurred from my cardboard. And it's being human beings, not human doings. Allowing ourselves to simply be. Just to be here now. Breathing in and out and making marks on the cardboard, on the canvas, on whatever you're painting on. Think of it, you're leaving your mark. Now don't get all upset about that or, harsh on yourself. Oh, get scared because now you realize is this a permanent mark on later? Yeah, but it's okay. It's a beautiful expression of you today. Only you can make today what you can make today. So what's it going to be? Right here you're hanging out with me and we're making green lines. Just going to go all the way across with these apparently. And we got a diagonal one here. That's where my cardboard was cracked right there, so I just allowed that to be. I haven't looked at the screen for a while to see if y'all can see me well. Breathing in and out. If you forgot, take a deep breath. Here now we are. It's good to be here. I'm glad you all showed up. Okay, so look at my canvas here a second. Hold my umbrella over my head. Maybe I could put it there. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, lighting's an issue. Someday, I dream of having a studio space with lighting and everything, so I can sit in the same space every week and not have to recreate from wherever I am. But this is kind of fun and challenging, you know. Just find the right spot wherever I am this week. So what's going on in your world? You know, also asking yourself, what am I looking forward to? That's a good question to ask yourself in your journals. And I'm looking forward to this week a lot. My daughter's getting married, so we're preparing for a wedding. So how fun is that? You know, love is in the air. Love is in the air. There's another affirmation for you. Your affirmations can be so simple and just something you could repeat to yourself that keeps you in that frame of mind that you're seeking. And seeking peace in the now. Ooh, I like that up and down motion with the brush. Just add some little, I don't know, it looks like maybe there's a pond over here because those kind of look like, I'm going to add some white to that. You know, just letting what happens, happens. And breathing in and out. And creating peace inside is where it begins. Peace begins inside of you. Think about that. We're all creating peace. Whoa, what a beautiful world it is. So peace begins in you. You're just making some marks. So the past is over and done. I'm reading again from the artist, not the artist way. Where am I reading? You can heal your life, Louise Hay. The past is over and done. We can't change that now. We can change our thoughts about it. Oh, I already read this. How foolish for us to punish ourselves in the present moment because somebody hurt us a long time ago. So we need to just banish these things that don't support us, new concepts of ourselves that work for us, not against us. We're looking for thoughts that serve us well. I am a creative being in this space-time capsule. I can only create in the now. I can only create in the present moment. I can't create in the past, and I can't create in the future. Though I'm in the future, I hope to still be creating. But I can only create right now with what I have in front of me. Same true for you. You know, so we grab what we got, and we let ourselves express ourselves. And this is how we get to the other side. The creative force. What did it say? There's no greater freedom than that which we feel when we are in the creative process, when we create something. So I just made some bigger marks there to indicate maybe there's a tree growing. Yeah. So she says we need to release and forgive everyone, ourselves included. We may not know how to forgive or want to. We just need to become willing. Need to become willing. She says it's imperative for your own healing that we release and forgive everyone. Man, this is a hard one for me. How about this? I forgive you for not being the way I needed you to be in that moment. This affirmation sets us free. Stretch your legs if you need to. Take a deep breath. I swear I heard a baby goat. So all disease, all dis-ease in your system comes from a state of unforgiveness or of lack of presence, better still. Right? Can only be present with the joy of the now or even the pain of the now. Whatever's in the now, you can only be present with it if you're not dwelling in the past. We can learn from it and just move forward. We're always going forward. That's inevitable. So loving the self is what she works on with everyone. She says, I find that when we really love and accept and approve of ourselves exactly as we are, then everything in our life works. It works better. Self-approval and self-acceptance in the now are the main keys to positive changes in every area of our lives. All right, I want to look at my paint in a minute. My painting. Yes, I feel like there's definitely a pond there. Those are pond kind of milkweed and stuff. Not milkweed, cattails and stuff. Yes. I also see maybe there's a mountain and the purple's calling. So I'm going to grab some purple. Before I go any further with this foreground, which is kind of a little bit backwards, I'm going to put some mountains in the background. So I'm going to grab some purple. I grabbed a dark purple, and I still have white on my palette, so I'm going to go with the purple and white. I am going to grab a, let's get these brushes closer to me. Make yourself comfortable. Take deep breaths, move slow and easy. It's Sunday, fun day, peaceful, easy feeling. That's what we're looking for. Acceptance in the now, and and as we find that we have stuff that needs healed, that's not anything to beat ourselves up about, because once we heal that, we're just going to find something else. It's just a constant flow of how we go, So let's make some mountains. Nothing else to do. So I have I don't know if that brush is going to be wide enough. I want a little bit wider one. Okay. I got this wide one, and I'm going to put some purple and some white on the ends of my brush, willy-nilly. And then I'm going to look, where is my mountain? It's way over here. So I'm going to come, this is the top of my mountain, and I'm going to pull down in this direction. And then I'm going to come back up here. You can see that, yeah? Back up a little. Come back up here to the top where it's still wet, and I'm going to pull down in this direction. And for right now, I am going to go ahead and go over my foreground a little bit. I kind of did that backwards. And then let's do it again, this way, this way, this way. Coming down, coming down. Let's go ahead and go over those. I'm going to go back to the paint and make yet another mountain. So again, with the purple and yeah, and in your world, your mountains can be whatever color you want them to be. Your foreground flowers or foliage. Okay, this mountain's going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to come in front of that one. I'm going to pull down this direction. All the way down, maybe. I'll do something with that. Maybe I come back with some white there. The clouds are coming down really low like that. So, let's get some blue up in there. Make it some blue, I don't know. No, and you don't have to know. We just do the next thing, whatever feels right at the moment. It feels right to put some blue, like we kind of fogging out down here. I'm making it look kind of foggy. I just smearing around some blue down there to just bring that all together, and then we're going to pull it down this way. Now, often with painting, we're not just... It's how you move the brush across the canvas, which direction you go. As you see, I like to go in all directions and just, right now we're just creating a beautiful background for maybe a story to occur in, or characters, or more flowers to bloom. We don't know. We're just creating this beautiful, surreal background. And you might hold it back and look at it from far away for a minute. You might walk away from it and go in the other room. That's the first I've really looked at that from far away. It's looking pretty cool. So, I think I'm going to add even one more mountain here. So, coming this way, let's add a smaller one, I guess. See how much I was thinking about that? That's not how we do. We just go with it. So let's pull you all the way down here. Good, you can see what I'm doing there. It's hard for me to see the screen there. Look at that. So, ooh. And at some point in the creative process, the painting takes on a life of its own. And for me, it takes a life of its own from the beginning, because I give over to the creative process and just show up. Just show up at the canvas and let whatever happens, happens. We just came to play. We're just having fun and seeing what we create today. And you don't know what you're going to create today unless you show up. Just showing up and grabbing your tools. Now I'm going to go with some green and yellow. So now that I have these mountains here, I want to create some kind of stuff, like the foliage now would come back in front of them. So I'm just doing a little bit of a something like this randomly. Sounds not funny. But yeah, you can see, yeah. So it's giving you a good idea there. Highlights I usually do at the end. Well, I'll show you. If you come back with just a little white here and there, look at that, how it just brightens it up. So everything has highlights and shadows, so we need to think about that. That too, so we do have a shadow self that needs to speak. Sometimes our art may be dark, and we have that feeling of, oh, and want to hide it away, and that's okay. I have a lot of work hidden away. I'll show you all someday. It's a nice poem. The work that's hidden away is how I've transmuted, and I choose now to show you the healed side of me. How did I get from where I came to here? Well, that all lives in a box in Aubrey's attic right now. The art that I created about that. Anyway, I'm just doing some up and down motions with different colors here for foreground flowers. I really like how I mixed the blue and yellow there for that corner. So giving you an idea. And as we do like a landscape like this, it's best to work from the back to the front. So we make the sky and the clouds, so we make the mountains, whatever's going to be under the mountains. Looking like I'm going to have a tree over here, so I'm going to use some black or brown. Let's see what I grab. Let's see, dark brown. I'm going to create a tree over here. So we start a tree with the trunk always, or at least I do. So my tree is going to go over here. I'm going to grab yet another brush. Doesn't matter how many brushes you use as many as you want to. So I'm going to grab any old brush here, and just brown first. I'm going to come over here where my tree is, and start at the bottom, because the paint's going to go on thickest at the bottom, and a tree gets thinner as it goes up. So you go up with that, and maybe it goes all the way straight up. Then where do the branches come off? Oh, there. And comes off here. It's pretty wide. Maybe we want to go back in the paint when we run out and make yet another tree. Does it start way down there too? Yes, it does. And it comes up like this. And don't be scared. Just, you know. Sometimes you might go, oh, I've gone too far. But don't forget to back up off it a little bit. And remember, there's more stuff coming. There are no mistakes. It's just a mark you made right there, right now. You're going to put more marks on there. You know, and you can cover up part of the trunk if you need to. See, it looks like my trunk fell off at the bottom down there. That one, I'd like it to get wider at the bottom, so you can come back and put some more on there. Did you say moron? I did not call you that. Yeah, so talk to that voice in your head. Really kind. Be really, 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 really kind to you. Self-approval and self-acceptance in the now are the main keys to positive changes in every area of our lives. I'm going to read you something else she says here. Loving the self, to me, begins with never ever criticizing ourselves for anything. Criticism locks us into the very pattern we're trying to change. Understanding and being gentle with ourselves helps us to move out of it. Remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked for you. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. For me, like with self-help and counseling, it seemed like for years and years and years it was just like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with me? Always trying to find what's wrong. And I remember when I switched it and said, you know what? Let's start working with what's right. What is right about me? What is good about me? What do I like to do? What am I good at? So learning to ask ourselves the right questions that support us and support our evolution. We're all changing and growing all the time. My tree's growing branches right now while we talk. I'm just putting some more branches on there. And you might get a thinner brush. You know, the branches get thinner as they go. It's also how hard you push the brush that affects what your painting looks like. We all have different ways of doing that. You might experiment with that. Am I pushing really hard? Notice. Simply notice. And what if I soften up? What if I lighten up a little? Oh, art always makes me ask the good life questions. You know? What if I let things play out and just lighten up and let it flow? See where the day goes. Because we never know. And it's not the day that that thing happened in your past. It's today. It's always today. It's always only today. It's always only now. Yeah. So let me show you how to... Oh, look at that. I somehow must have leaned on it funny and created some kind of kite or bird or something there in my cloud I'll have to work in, as well as what looks like a chimney there on my mountain. So maybe my mountain's turning into a house. Who knows? But what I was going to show you was how to put some foliage on that tree next. And I still have some yellow, white, and green on my palette. I'm going to find that fuzzy, messed up brush, which is wet. So I'm going to get it out of there and wring it out. Dry it off a little. Breathing in and out. I'm calm and peaceful in the now. Breathing in and out. I accept myself. I accept the creative process flowing through me. All right, so yellow, green, yellow, green, and a little white. So all those on that messed up brush. And I'm going to go to my tree here in the corner. Again, the leaves get thinner as you go out, so start closest to the trunk lightly, up and down. Up. See how that just makes some little, go back to the center and go out, center, out. And just put some nice foliage all on your tree. Remember, it would go in front of the branches too. It wouldn't just be like between them. Even down here low, there might be a nice clump right there, or here. Maybe some darker ones. You see? So there you have some foliage on the tree. I'm seeing that I want some more foliage on the tree. I'm going to get some more green. But just indicate everything. Do it with a lightness and an ease about it. You know, you don't want to just draw the outline of the tree or the outline of anything right now. We're just doing it as a flow kind of thing. I just have some dark green because I want to heavy up that foliage, that tree, to be a little more summery, because in the summer they got lots of green leaves on them, don't they? And again, I started at the center, and then as my brush gets drier, I'm going out. So see how it makes it look heavier there in the middle, and then it gets lighter as it goes out. I'm going to do that same thing a little bit in front of my trees. Just a little, indicate some foliage down there. That's good for that right now. And it's fun to just play around with the different brushes. These paintings that we make in group too are great places to write an affirmation that you want to work with this week. You know, maybe there was something that you heard me say or read. I love myself, simply. Could be one. I approve of myself. I lovingly approve of myself. Now, let's say I really am bothered by the fact that I got that purple there. You can go over it. You can paint over. So I'm just going to take a dry brush. I'm going to show you. And if you want to, just tone it down. Just think of it that way. So I'm going to take the white on this dry brush and just do a circular motion around there. Remember, this is a cloud, so you want that circular motion maintained. I'm going to go right over that purple and see how it just toned it down a little. Right? You can come back to it again later. This one I'm going to shape up a little. So it looks kind of rough edge there, and I kind of want to take that part out. Okay, so making small adjustments. And you can do this in your own life. You don't have to make big giant moves. Just little adjustments to how you've been doing things will change the patterns that you've been stuck in. Perhaps. That's what I'm working on. It's always what I'm working on, like breaking patterns, breaking chains, mending my heart. Yeah, so loving ourselves more and more, we give ourselves time and space to create. I'm going to put some blue flowers now Maybe they do something like this. I'm just making different shapes. I'm going to give that a little separation. Perhaps there's a little... Is that a door or a window? What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I just felt like I needed to make that shape there. So that's what we do. Is that a smaller mountain in the front of that mountain? Perhaps. And then perhaps we want to do it to this one too. And then this one too. And then come back with some white. I'm just doing what I do and going with the flow here, folks. And you do the same. Thank you for creating with me today. I would love to see what you made. Remember, your piece of art that you're making right now doesn't have to be done in this hour with me. You can come back to it all day long or all week long if you want to. My mama's behind me there. I've been working on for, a good 6-8 months. It's an oil painting, so it needs lots of time to dry in between layers. I just added some more purple flowers and stuff. I'm just plunking around on the canvas. So when you wrap it up, and at the end we're going to add the light. I'm going to make sure I show you that. So let's just breathe a minute. You all keep playing around with your brushes, and I'm going to look at mine from far away, drink a little coffee, stretch my legs. I'm going to read you something here in a second. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. It all starts there. Shoot. It's making today the most spectacular day. Alright, so at the end of each one of the chapters in You Can Heal Your Life, there's what she calls a treatment or remedy. This is something you might want to read over and over again during the week. I like to write it in my journal at least once during the week to help program that as a new some new things to ponder. I'll wait for that jet to pass. I am here in loving awareness. I believe in you. Thanks for being here with me now. Okay. So reading from the end of part 1, Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life. Deeply breathing in and out with me now. Here we go. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I believe in a power far greater than I am, or than my ego, that flows through me every moment of every day. I open myself to the wisdom within, knowing that there is only one intelligence in this universe. Out of this one intelligence comes all answers, all solutions, all healings, all new creations. I trust in a power and intelligence greater than myself, knowing that whatever I need to know is revealed to me, and that whatever I need comes to me in right time, space, and sequence. All is well in my world. And I just want to give a note that this power greater than myself that she speaks of, that's for you to assign. What is that power? What do you call it? And it really doesn't matter, just depending on it does. For me, that power is the creative force, that life force that flows through everything. That, even in my mentally unwell periods where my ego self might not want to be here anymore, there's a higher self, there's a part of the self that wants to live. A life force that wants to live, that wants to create through you. There's only one of you. Only one voice that can say what you can say in the tones and the ways that you can. So stay here now. Be present with yourself. Be kind and loving in all ways. Always. Get me? In all ways. A-L-L ways. Always. A-L-W-A-Y-S. One word. In always, always be kind to you. it will so affect the things that you do. You might be a poet, you don't know it. People are finding that out by simply showing up. You just simply show up. Just show up for the creative process. Show up and grab your instruments. Show up and play. Play with yourselves, folks. Take yourself on an artist date. You know, like the things that we do that are self-care indicate to ourself that we care. Right? So when I make a fruit smoothie first thing in the morning, good healthy thing, it indicates to myself that I care about myself. Care about feeding me good things. Or when I take time to do my journaling, or go for a walk, play my instrument, sing my song, shine my individual light. It indicates to the self that I love and approve of you. There's a good affirmation to write, and one that I write often. I love and approve of myself in the now. In the now. Just learning to do it in this moment. In this moment. It doesn't matter what the past. In this moment, I love and approve of myself. In this moment, I'm just here making art with y'all. So I'm going to intentionally now, I look at this and I see, oh, there's some things here and there that I would fix up if I were going to make it perfect, but I'm not going to make it perfect, am I? No, I'm going to go on to the next thing. And the next thing to me feels like making a bold move before we sign off here with each other. And the bold move I'm going to make is adding some black, as if perhaps a silhouette or just the framework for something new on this canvas. Let me tilt that so you can see me more. So I'm going to, I added some black. I'm going to grab a straight edged brush out of my water and clean that a little bit. So yeah. Just breathing and smiling. It'll raise your vibration and make you feel better, even when you feel yucky. If something in your body feels yucky, something's hurting, and you can move it to a position where it doesn't. If it's just going to hurt no matter what you do, just don't focus on it. Focus on the here and the now with yourself in here. In here, where you're safe and protected, and there is no pain. That's where you live. So I'm going to take black now. Right away I went to go to my tree, but that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to make a little house at the bottom of these mountains for myself, and I'm not worried that I painted this here. That's whatever. So the house is like closer to me. So let's just start like this. I'm going to make 2 lines like this. Here's my lemon. And put a roof on it. Okay, so make an 11 and put a roof on it. Now you have a tiny little shack there. Let's make it bigger. So I'm going to make another line here. Your roof lines are going to come across that way, see? And then this one's going to come across that way, and then this one comes down here. See there? We're making a little house. Let's make our house a little bigger. Maybe we'll make this wall solid with a big door in it there. Let's make this one have like an arch door. Like that. Oh no. What was that? Why is my thing binging? Oh, there we go. Alright, so there's your house. You might want to just drag some black to make it solid in the places where it's not a window. So, there's the roof. Now we can come back here, just bear with me. Alright, so there's the little house. I'm going to take, why does it keep binging? Not sure. Anyway, watch me struggle. Trying to figure out how to see more comments. We're good. Alright, we're almost done here. So I'm going to just maybe add some siding that goes this way. Darken that in. Darken that in. I'm going to add a little addition to this house. I want a bigger house. I want room for my workshop, right? So I'm putting a little addition on my house. Maybe it has a little roof that comes off this way. See, this one overhangs, but we'll blend that in right in a minute. Just smear that in. Oh, look, it looks like it has a painted little wall. Let's just give it a little window. Look how cute that looks. Now you might come back with a little white then, and the things that are on top. So this is on top of that roof. So, ooh, that has a little blue in it. That's nice. Look at that. So my roof gets a little blue paint to it. How about that? I didn't really mean to do that, but isn't that cute? What that did to my roof there. See how it makes it separate? And I'm not thinking about this. This is just with the quickness. I'm going to come back to this other blue and do this roof now with the darker blue. Look at that. Makes it stand out. And we'll still do that. Alright. And then let's go with the dark blue again. And I want to go around this window. And this window. I'm going to go with white real quick. Do inside this door. Inside this window. Let's see what we got going on there. Alright. Now, if you finish this piece, you want to finish it, sign it, date it, maybe write some notes on the back about when it happened and stuff. That's fun too. Yeah, I'm going to leave off there for now because our hour is up. Mine is certainly not done, so I'm going to work on it some more, and I will post it when it's done, I guess. You know, you can just, now I always say like the brushes can get smaller and smaller as you go, because then you can do more detailed work with those smaller brushes, like put a doorknob on that door there. I'm just going to take a little black on the end of my brush and give that door a doorknob, so then it indicates that's a door that's not open right now. Window's open though. Alright, so keep breathing in and out all day. Honor yourself and your artist and your work. Yeah, we'll see you next week. We're going to read part 2, a session with Louise Hay. Chapter 2, what is the problem? It is safe to look within. It is safe to look within. Have a great week. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace out.